we go. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Okay. On the entrepreneurial journey.
Okay.
Not really sure we've really ever talked about this.
Okay.
I don't know if we have. Maybe just touching on it, but I mean, I want to.
This is going to be interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk about at first while on the entrepreneurial journey, and then we can broaden it to personal life as well too, or maybe it's all the same for entrepreneurs. Could be.
Okay.
I'll ask you personally, and then I'll ask your best practices for it, Jen.
Okay.
You personally, how have you handled criticism and rejection?
Okay.
While growing the business, or how do you continue to handle any criticism or rejection? And how is that, if any, how's that changed since the beginning for you?
So I'll answer the last question first. Right? It's changed a lot from the beginning, right? The beginning, criticism was hard, right? Because you don't know what you're doing yet. You think you know everything. So when people criticize you, it's like, I would take it personal. Now it's more of I look at the criticism. The first question I ask is, who is the criticism coming from? Because we had this discussion yesterday. We did our podcast in our office, the Barrels and Bylaws one, and we interviewed someone, and we were talking about some early advice he got, and he said, if they haven't done what you want to do or not where you want to be, why do you take advice from them?
Did you understand that from the beginning or not?
So I remember hearing it early in my journey, and I understood it partially. The older I got, the more it really sunk in. And now it's like, look, I'll listen. Like, I'll let you say what you want to say. There may be a nugget in there, but I always tell myself, if I wouldn't trade places with that person, or they're not where I want to be, and they're telling me how to do the things I'm trying to do, probably not going to listen. Because what is going to show? How do you know? Like, he was giving the example, like his services, he was pricing it. And his wife was like, I don't think people are going to pay you that much for that. And then his one mentor who's in the same business, he's like, oh, that's cool. Does your wife have a sales degree? And he's like, no. He's like, well, has your wife done this service before? No. He's like, well, then why the hell are you listening to her? How does she know? Like, I do this. This is what I charge. This is what people will pay. This is what you should charge. Why are you listening to people that have no idea? And I'm like, because I remember beginning when I started the firm, like, what should I charge? And I'd ask people, and people just give me rant. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Now it's like, no, like, if you haven't done this or built something, I'm not going to listen to you.
So we just seem to be more willing to accept advice anywhere in the beginning.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. In the beginning, you're just
kind of change at some point.
It does when you start realizing where the advice is coming from and what type of advice matters, right?
Might be bigger.
That's the bigger piece. You got to understand what matters, right? Because sometimes we're just looking for our own validation of our thoughts, and we shouldn't do that unless it's from people who are where we want to be. Then validate my process or my thinking, or am I missing something here? I shouldn't seek validation from people who aren't doing what I'm doing, because how do they know? I don't want to surround myself with people that are yes people that, oh yeah, you're doing great. That's awesome. Great idea. It's like, no, like, I want someone to call me on my bullshit and challenge my assumptions and challenge my perspective, because that's how you grow as a person. If you're never being challenged, you're not growing.
It's probably easier to develop that mindset though, once you're, in the thick of it a little bit. Because in the beginning, depending on your constitution, that can crush a lot of people. That type of honesty could crush them before they even get out of the gate.
100%.
And maybe that's good in the long run. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there is a level of uncomfort that comes with that. And I think early on, we're seeking comfort. So that makes it very hard to deal with. And a lot of people give up because they just can't take the criticism. To me, I looked at it as like, look, you're going to get criticism. If I'm not getting criticism from people, I'm not doing anything significant.
That matters.
It matters, right? So it's like, If no one's paying attention or criticizing things I'm doing, then I'm not really making an impact or doing anything significant. Because I believe the more impact you have and the more significance you have as an individual, the more feathers you're going to ruffle.
So let me share this with you. So I started the guitar thing part-time, as you know, and then when I made the decision to go full-time, I seeked counsel. One of them was a great uncle of mine, a businessman from Canada, Bernard Lee, successful guy. He was very philosophical. So I enjoyed talking with him generally, but he had some nuggets. And what he said to me, I will never forget this, is it didn't hit me until it happened.
Okay.
He said, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, your biggest obstacle, my boy, is going to be how you handle rejection and criticism from your market and people in your market.
Yeah.
Because sure, you've done well to this point, and you were raised in a loving family, and you've got a nice circle of friends, I'm sure. So the criticism you've received has come from a place of relative comfort.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Love that.
How you handle the criticism from the market you're trying to work within.
Yeah.
And being that it's your livelihood, the weight of that is so significant. How you handle that will be your ultimate decision whether this venture works or it doesn't work. And when I first heard, I'm like, yeah, okay, Uncle Bernard.
No,
you're
right.
It wasn't until I launched my website and I was getting customers, and then all of a sudden, this new thing called the web gave everybody an opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To reach me immediately.
Yeah.
My website's ugly. That's a stupid mascot. Why do you always sell Gibsons?
Yeah.
Why do you always sell guitars over $3,000? Why are your prices so high? I was constantly getting negative, what I perceived to be negative feedback, because I couldn't use it as a tool. I was taking it personally.
Yeah.
And I had to flesh that out for a little while. Had to. It was very hard.
It really is. Well, because I think too, like, human beings, like, we don't like criticism, right? We seek comfort, we seek approval. So when people criticize us, especially people we're trying to market and sell to, we do take it personally because it's something we built, right? I think we talked about it last week. Like, if you come in and tell me I have a problem in my business and you have the solution for it, I'm kind of like, no, I don't have a problem. Like, you have a problem. You got to help me find the problem myself. But if you come in and attack my baby, we take that personal because we pour our blood, sweat, and tears into this business. And if you can't see that and you just come out of the gates, oh yeah, you've got this problem, but I have the solution. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. That's not how it works. Criticism is a funny thing. You can utilize it to your advantage if you can control the emotion surrounding it.
What was harder for you? Criticism or outright rejection? What was the harder one for you to maneuver, at least initially?
Probably criticism, because outright rejection is like, okay, it's not for you. Criticism is, it could have been for them, but they saw something that they didn't like.
Bingo. Yeah,
and that's harder.
I think that's the critical way to think and look at it.
Yeah,
but it's easy to say the opposite.
Because it's the simple example is like, if I'm a pizza maker, right, and I offer you pizza, you're like, I just don't eat pizza. Okay, it's rejection. Like, cool, no problem. But if you're like, pizza is my favorite food, I'm not going to eat yours. That's criticism. There's a reason why pizza is your favorite food, but you're not eating mine. So I'm going to take that person. Like, why don't you like my pizza?
Right.
But if you tell me I just don't eat pizza, that's cool. Like, no problem. Like, I won't serve you pizza. That's the difference between rejection and criticism. That's why I believe criticism is so much harder to deal with, because you could have had that customer or that client, but there was something they didn't like, something you missed, something you didn't see. Pure rejection is just, it's not for me. Okay, cool. Move on.
Yeah. And I had to learn that too. Yeah. There was, I had to make a decision, the kind of guitars I was most comfortable working with, realizing that as soon as I made that decision, no, again, I could have been a jack of all trades,
sure,
and, but I thought, I can only do certain things well.
Yeah.
So I had to only have too many hours in the day. It's like focus, the importance of that. But then I was going to, as soon as I was making that decision, case in point, I was going more toward Gibson style guitars instead of Fender.
Okay.
Knowing that Fender's enthusiast base is humongous, probably bigger than Gibson.
Yeah.
But by ignoring that, I knew I was limiting my.
Of course.
Yeah. So then when in my head, well, I want to be the best solid body guitar salesman in the world. And then when I wasn't getting everybody,
right,
I was taking extremely personal. And then it wasn't enough to put me out of business mentally, but it was enough to show my immaturity in the beginning.
Well,
emotional maturity.
Look, when you start a business, I truly believe no one's emotionally mature enough to do it yet, because being a business owner, or entrepreneur, or founder comes with a different emotional component to it, right? You learn different things about yourself. You learn different emotions. You have different things that trigger you, right? I didn't realize when I always felt like I took criticism well, but when you start a business and you get criticized, you're like, well, wait a minute, like that hurts. Like, why? Like, then you had to really do that self-assessment as to why, when I could work for someone or in a firm or in a corporation and would get criticized in my performance, and okay, like, you're helping me get better. But when it turned into, this is my thing that I built and you're criticizing it, it's like, oh, at first it stung, but then I had to reframe it and say, okay, this is just part of it. This is how you get better. Let me take that criticism, learn it, absorb it, and use it to make myself and my business better. But a lot of people have a hard time doing that because it's just, they attach this negative connotation to the criticism. They can't get past it.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And I think I was very sensitive as a young person. And I got a wake-up call in the early 90s when I ran for political office in my hometown.
Okay.
And I was told by these politicians
right
away, you're not going to get everybody.
Of course.
Some people aren't going to vote for you because you part your hair on one side and they don't like that. There could be a million different things about you that are so inconsequential that you're just not going to get those people. And you need to be okay with that. Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. And then when I lost the election, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think it was a good moment where, I mean, I started to tell you, had I not had those types of trials, I don't know if I would have survived doing this, because in the beginning here, I probably got more negativity about starting this podcast than I did for any of the prior businesses. And this wasn't income based. Revenue gen. Oh, most definitely. What are you doing? How dare you? Who are you? You putting your name on that? No one knows you. I mean, but I had the experience. I had the muscle of working through rejection or criticism prior through business. We're like, okay, it's going to work itself out.
And again, did those people have successful podcasts?
Of course not.
Did you want to trade places with them? No. And that's the thing. And I always come back to that, because sometimes I'll still let something bother me, but I'm like, wait a minute. If I would not trade places with that person, or they are not anywhere near where I want to be,
or they're not going where you want to go.
Exactly. Or they're not going where I want to go. Like, what does their opinion matter? It doesn't, because I seek advice and counsel and criticism from those ahead of me, and that will bring me wisdom through criticism. Not a lot of people, I think, criticize to make themselves feel good. It's like, they're not happy with themselves. They want to attack and bring everybody else down to their level. Or to me, then there's other people that give you constructive criticism, right? They're like, hey, I think this could help improve your business. Okay, love it. Let's talk. But you can always tell where someone's motives are.
And context is everything.
Context is everything. But most people think they can hide it pretty well. It's very easy to read between the lines when someone's doing it just to bring you down to their level, because they're not happy with themselves.
Insecurity.
Insecurity is probably the biggest hindrance of business owners that I've seen. It's that bottleneck, right? You have this insecurity, and we all have imposter syndrome, I believe. Like,
talk about that for a second.
Yeah, like, you never get away from it, right? I thought as I've gotten older, I'd get away from imposter syndrome, but I think imposter syndrome is a good thing because it keeps you sharp, keeps you on your toes. It's, if I thought I arrived, I wouldn't do half the work I do.
I get that.
Like I always am blissfully dissatisfied. Like I always want to push myself to learn more, to be more, to do more. So that's why I always have that imposter syndrome. Like, okay, well, like, do I deserve this? And I'm pushing myself. And to me, that's an important thing as a business owner to have. Like you have to have that.
Isn't that a balance though? Because I could imagine, like I dealt with that when I had my first little rush of success. I'm like, this is too easy. Like, do I really deserve, like, or wherever I find myself flying to and standing in rooms with people that just doesn't make any sense. How the hell did this happen to me?
Yeah, it's definitely, look, it's one of those things where it is tough. It is a balancing act, right? Because you don't want to go down the negative route and just don't believe you deserve it. Like you have to know your worth and your value. And I know what I'm worth. I know my value.
But that take a while though, right?
It does. But what I mean by imposter syndrome is that is me knowing I will never arrive.
Got it.
So it's like I will never arrive. So I gotta constantly be pushing myself, being in bigger rooms, being in bigger circles, finding the right people to surround myself with to make me better.
Okay.
A lot of people can get to that point of business, like I've arrived. This is they have that cockiness to them, like this is where I should be. And they feel like they deserve it at that point in time. And great if you do. I just look at it from a perspective of I never want to feel like I deserve it. I always want to know in the back of my head, it can be gone in a blink of an eye, but I have the skill set and the knowledge and the confidence in myself to get it back. Doesn't mean it can't be taken. And I think people, they lose their edge when they get to that point of life where like, I've arrived. They think imposter syndrome's gone because they've done the work. They've made the money. They made their first $1 million or $10 million and I've arrived. Like I've talked to business owners way more successful than me, 8 and 9 figure business owners say the same thing. I don't know how I got here. Some days I wonder. I feel like I'm just pretending every day. But what that does is it keeps you moving forward. It keeps you growing and developing as a business owner, and it keeps you getting better every single day.
It also keeps you humble.
100%. Yes, 100%. Because that again is such an important piece of the pie, or a piece of the puzzle. Excuse me. You have to remain humble. Because if you don't, I mean, you can spot them a mile away, right? You can spot people that I'm not saying you can't show off what you have and live your life. That's awesome, but I've watched people and I've known people that have amazing things, but they're the most humble people you meet because they appreciate how they got it. They know it can all be gone tomorrow and they don't take it for granted. A lot of people, they get to that point where they have all these things. They're like, yeah, I'm good. I figured it all out. I'm the man or the woman. And I think, they almost think they're untouchable. And
Nobody's untouchable.
To me, that is a recipe for disaster at some point. And that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, that human arrogance is something, especially when it is. To me, it's even crazily more destructive when it evolves over time. If you're born a certain way, you've learned to manage it, and it probably has limited you along your road.
Sure, yeah.
But it's when it's created through success, and in your mind you're exploiting it, and that arrogance just grows exponentially, and it reaches critical mass at some point, and it will take you down. I mean, the business world, like the entertainment world, is littered with stories like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you don't have to look far to find them either.
No, you don't. And I always say business is hard. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's not difficult. It's just hard. And people need to understand if you're going to go down this road of entrepreneurship, there's just going to be resistance you're going to face, criticism you're going to face, things you're going to be up against that you have to just push through. Because if you choose not to, you're choosing yourself out of business, I believe, because you have to go through it. You do. Every business owner has those moments where you got to go. There are certain things you go through the hard part, then you get a little bit of clarity and things open and you start seeing things differently. Then you're like, holy shit, like now I have some misalignments and you got to realign things. Then you're like, okay, well now I have my vision. I see the alignment of things. Now I'm not making any money. I have this business that's bringing in revenue, but I'm not making money. I'm not profitable. So you start looking there. And it's like, it's these stages that you have to walk through as a business. And that's kind of why I've created that framework that I would advise clients on, taking them through this 4 stages of the process, because you have to get through each gate. If you want to get to the point of freedom, right? Freedom as an entrepreneur, to be able to run the business the way you want to, where it's not relying on you,
right?
You have to walk through all these gates, but they're hard to walk through. And some people don't know how to do it, or don't want to do it, or quit before they have to. And part of those gates is the first part is that criticism, right? Taking that criticism and using it to bring clarity.
Yeah, there was some lecture that entrepreneurship decision to was about. There was a guy that was fanatical about criticism. He asked for it. He begged for it. Yeah, that's how he dealt with it. Like, he turned the emotion he had when he received it into, okay, I want more. Give me more of it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get rid of these feelings and just channel them over here to get more information on where I'm missing the boat.
Yes. Yeah, you have to have people in your life that are willing to do that. That are willing to call you on your bullshit and tell you what you're missing.
That's it. That sums it up.
You got to pick
it up.
It does. But you got to pick those people, because most people, when you start, they're trying to keep you optimistic. Oh, that's awesome. You're doing great. You'll get there. You'll get there.
They really don't know.
They don't have a fucking clue. They don't have a clue. You need somebody who's done it, who's walked through the shit and said, okay, yeah, you're right in the middle of the pile of shit that we all walk through. We all have to deal with. But I promise you, if you just keep walking and move your arms to move the shit out of the way, you'll eventually get there. But you're right in the middle of it, like all of us before you have been. Because I truly believe every founder, business owner, entrepreneur we all go through certain things. And one of those is just being in the shit. Like, you think you're at a level where, okay, my business has grown, it can run, but you're still behind every decision. You're still involved in every process. So you're right in the middle of the shit. And that's where everybody gets screwed up, because they don't know how to get out of it. They can't focus. They can't see the bigger picture, because they're too close to it. They're right in the middle of it. You have to pull yourself out of it and look at it differently.
Yeah, it's that 2-inch or 2-mile view, right?
Yeah.
They look different.
Yeah, 100%.
2 inches away or 2 miles away.
Yeah, I mean, you have to truly step outside the frame and really look at your business from a different vantage point. Then you start to see things a lot more clearly, because when we're right in the middle of it, I can't see what's going on around me. When you pull yourself out and look from the outside in, you're like, well, wait a minute, I'm the problem. And that's what most people discover.
What an awakening that is, huh?
But it's the awakening that has to happen, right? 99% of people, when they're stuck, they're the problem, but no one's telling them they're the problem.
Man, does that hit with me? I just remember
it hits with everybody.
Many moments along the way where I obviously was the problem. I found that out later.
Yeah. Yep.
But at that moment, there wasn't anyone willing to tell me that. I had not expanded my circle far enough.
Yeah.
I had friends, deeply great friends, but they probably weren't close enough for them to see what I was doing.
Right. Yeah.
Because I guarded everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's my baby, right?
Yeah, 100%.
My toy.
Yes. Yes. But you need somebody in that group, in that circle, that's going to tell you how it is. It's going to get you to see it differently. Because everybody gets that point of being stuck and frustrated.
Which goes back to how important it is to set up a insightful circle.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
100%. Yes. Put the right people around you from the beginning that aren't going to be yes men or cheerleaders or you're the greatest. You're just going, no, like you're the problem. Like you're the one doing the dumb shit. Stop it. Like that's the type of people you need, because those are the ones that truly care about you, right? Mm-hmm. That are willing to tell you the hard stuff. That's really uncomfortable to tell, to tell somebody, hey, your business is shit because of you. Like that's a hard thing to tell somebody, right? It's uncomfortable. Like if I'm sitting here and I was working with you and I realized that, like, that would be uncomfortable because we have such a close friendship.
Context would be very important.
Yes,
in that conversation.
Like, hey, Eric, your business is shit, and guess what? You're the problem.
Well, the funny part about it is we talked about this multiple times.
Yeah.
I honestly believe had I met you when you just came out of law school, I think I'd probably still be in the you know what I mean? If I would have had that type of advice and that type of counseling and someone to tell me, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
You know, but I had too many yes. And then we had a gravy train of vendors that were being supported by our success. And everybody wanted to stay positive all the time. And that's dangerous.
It is. It's very dangerous. Yes. Because you gotta keep moving forward. And you want to stay positive and optimistic, but you also have to be a realist.
Yeah. And so, and again, that's interesting because that talks a little bit about process. And I had not implemented like a checks and balances system within my processes. And I only got fed good shit.
Yeah.
I only got fed the positive news.
Right.
I mean, if I had dug a little harder, I could have discovered my weaknesses, but why should I? Because they're not really, the numbers aren't changing right now.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to deal with the positive stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people think that way, but it's when you deal with the negative and deal with the roadblocks and the bottlenecks is when you truly unlock freedom within a business. Because every business owner's, I believe, their dream is for their business to operate without them. They still love what they do and they're making money, they're creating, they're visionaries, but the goal is to get the business to operate without relying on you. To do that, you have to understand that you, business owner, are the problem, and you have to learn to remove yourself, put in other people that you trust, put in processes that you can rely on, and cut the inefficiencies from your organization. If you do those three things the right way and in the right sequence, you'll have that freedom. But most people just get so caught up in the middle of the day-to-day, they don't know what to do.
So I was an entrepreneur that had an idea and I just ran with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even plot anything out. I had no formal business plan, but talk a little bit about the dangers of that. Regardless of the impulsive nature of the person starting the business, you've got to have a plan on paper before you spend $1, right?
So yes, but is what I'll say. So a plan on paper, I believe in ready, fire, aim, right? You've got to have some strategy. You can't just say, I'm going to start a business tomorrow. You can't say, I'm going to start a food truck and never cooked. You know, like you have to have some sort of plan. I don't think I'm not one that sits there and draft a formal business plan before someone goes to market because that's analysis paralysis. Know what you want to do, why you want to do it, and who you want to do it for.
Okay.
That's the plan you need.
Those are the big questions.
Yes. What you want to do, why you want to do it, and who you're going to do it for.
Yeah.
Like who your customer avatar is, what's the meaning behind you're doing it, and what are you actually doing it? And are you qualified to do it?
I did that.
If you have those three things, then you start moving, operating, and then you make adjustments along the way. When I started the law firm, it was like, okay, I practice law. I'm a lawyer. I'm trained to be a lawyer, right? My why is I wanted to redefine legal services. My who was the small business owner, entrepreneur that, saw things differently and wanted a lawyer that looked at things differently. That's what I had to figure out at the beginning. Then I said, okay, what's next? Just meet people, talk to people. And then I started building. When I first started the firm, I had no processes in place. I was still answering the phones. I had someone working there.
I remember those days.
But I was still answering the phones. Then you just build processes in place. Even the other businesses I've purchased and sold, same thing. You have to start with those three things. Then the rest just comes in time. I don't think I've seen too many people get caught up and I got to get a business plan, a logo, my color scheme, my brand kit. I'm like, what do you sell?
See, those are activities that make you feel like you're in business.
Right. But you're not actually in business. Yes. I always say when people call about trademarking stuff, I'm like, have you sold anything yet? Why don't we do that first? Like, well, I mean, you could, and there are sometimes reasons to do it ahead of time, but if you haven't sold anything yet, how do you even know this business is going to work? But it's like they want to check these boxes because it makes them feel like they have a business when actually just being and running the business is what makes you feel like you have the business.
But
two different things.
They haven't experienced that yet.
No. know, because that is the oh shit moment, right? You can plan a lot of business all you want. So I remember I did that, and the first business I bought, was a tanning salon in 2007. And I had, MBA, I got a JD, I went to, did well in school, I was smart growing up, I could figure this out, I've done rental properties. Then you buy it, and then you're in it. And I'm like, shit. I have employees. I have regulations I got to deal with. Oh, I got to fix this. I got to fix this. Everything is now your face. Your face is up against it, and you got to figure out that. That's how you determine who you're made of as an entrepreneur. Like, we had somewhat of a plan, my partner and I. Like, we said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Why we're doing it. Okay, cool. Then your face is up against you. Like, this is the test of who we are, because we could have given up right off the bat, because we were like, every problem that could possibly happen happened.
Of course.
But it made us better business owners. We ended up acquiring more salons. We acquired laundromats, other businesses, and sold them all for a profit over time. But had we not been up against the glass to start, I wouldn't be the business owner I am today.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. It's almost like you're doing yourself a favor if you have struggles initially.
100%.
Again, we talked about this too, where I didn't, because I had fallen into a money-making opportunity because this web thing was new.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't, quite frankly, it wasn't until 9/11 that I was challenged, because at 9/11, commerce in this country, for the most part, for a couple of months, kind of ground to a halt.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I didn't like that, because I was used to just this gravy train of buying something, marking it up 30%, boom, getting it, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Eric's happy.
Yeah.
And then, so I would have preferred to have struggle out of the get-go. And I didn't have that. And I think that would have changed my frame of mind.
Oh, 100%. That's why I always say pray the first time you gamble, you lose. Because then you have the real context of what gambling is. But people that go there and the first time they win big, you're like, oh man. I mean, literally the first time I went to Vegas, it was when I graduated law school, and I did gamble, like played poker, but never. Like, that was the first time I was in Vegas at a casino, and we went and played. The guys I was with, we went and played the $5 slot machines. I'm like, oh my god, this is when I literally had no money. Like, law student had a side. I'm like, okay. We each put in like $100, and we ended up winning like a couple grand. I'm like, this is the best. I'm gonna do this every time. Every time you've been to Vegas since, we've never won again in those slot machines. Never won again.
That might be trying to tell you something,
right? But it was a good lesson. I won't spend a lot, but I'll play a little bit just to try. But had I lost that first time, I probably would have never played those again.
Probably not.
Yeah. But I'm like, oh, this is great. I remember just the coins coming out. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, all this money. This was the best. It was like, I think we played the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune machine was like $5. I think there was 3 of us. We each put in $100, and we turned $300 into like 2 or 3 grand.
Wow.
I'm like, this is how it works. This is awesome.
This is how it works.
Right. It's like, I'm always coming back to Vegas. Same thing with my bachelor.
6 hours later.
Right. Same thing with my bachelor party. I learned to play craps at my bachelor party. And we all, my buddy Pat went on a heater at Bally's. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, everybody's winning. Like, craps is the best game ever. Haven't had a night like that in a long time.
That's why those casinos are so,
that's what I tell
so
Gabe.
Grandiose.
Gabe went last week. He said, I'm going to make generational wealth this weekend. I'm like, dude, casinos are there for a reason. Like, well, you can try.
It's funny because my wife flies for American, and she says she used to really love to work the Vegas runs because everybody's so happy going up, and everybody's festive. And coming home, it's the easiest flight imaginable.
Yeah.
Everybody is just sick. It's quiet,
sleeping,
miserable. No one wants any cart service. They're just
so leave me alone. Let me go to bed.
My misery.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
But the business is kind of like that in a way when you start too. I think
it's challenging. It is, and I think
the peaks and the valleys.
And it's not for the faint of heart.
Have you ever thought about this?
Yeah.
Maybe this exists. I've never heard of it, but is there a quiz or a test someone could take to determine whether or not they're on the on the face of it, they're
Yeah.
cut out for entrepreneurship.
I mean, there's a lot of those assessments out there, like, you know,
Specific to
I don't know if
entrepreneur.
there's one specific to that.
Well,
Like
there is, and that's not a bad business idea.
like the DISC assessment.
But
There's
that's
the
more
Kobe,
general,
there's
right?
the Kobe assessment.
Yeah.
There's the strength finders. Like there's a lot of them out there. The IMX index. And they're all good, and they all, I mean, I've taken all of them. They're all pretty spot on with who I am.
The DISC, I think, rarely fails.
Yeah, I mean, DISC, I mean, you know, I mean, I'm a high D, high I, mid S. My C is like non-existent. So I'm like
naturally.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's, I have the profile of an entrepreneur, extroverted.
Right.
So the profiles do, you know, line up. Now there's some anomalies there, but I don't know if there's one that's actually says, hey, you're cut out to be an entrepreneur.
You think that could exist?
I think
Or is it too
I think
broad?
it'd be hard because I don't think there's a formula, because there's different types of entrepreneurs, right? There's extroverted ones, there's introverted ones, there's introspective ones, there's people that are just very logical. And
so you're saying the door is actually a lot bigger. Maybe in my mind, maybe I had the door more narrow. But you're saying the personality type really doesn't.
I think it's more of your tolerance of risk. I think if you're going to test something, it's the tolerance of risk, because you have to be able to tolerate uncertainty. Like that's the biggest thing in entrepreneurship, is your ability to tolerate and deal with uncertainty, because everything is uncertain.
That explains probably why there's a lot of people that come from the sales field.
Yeah.
That go to entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah. Especially if you're a commission-only salesperson, your income is uncertain. It's on you.
You kind of are an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm a real estate agent. I definitely think that's entrepreneurial.
Absolutely. It's because you have to find ways to market yourself, to generate leads, to sell to those leads, to close deals. Like it is your own business. You're not a W-2 employee. You don't just show up and get paid just to be you or to show up. You have to put in the work, and your compensation is directly correlated to your effort.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think sales is a big thing too, and I think it's your tolerance of risk, and I think it's your ability to see 3 or 4 steps ahead. Because I think great entrepreneurs can anticipate what's coming, can see the next couple moves, and move in accordance with that. You know, good entrepreneurs can see a move or two ahead. The great ones could see 5 steps ahead. I truly believe that.
Yeah, the real estate agents and brokers that I really admire,
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say it right here, Jeremy Pronto, my current broker.
Yeah.
I admire that he's just so in touch with our market.
Yeah,
he makes it a point to study.
Yeah,
the real. I mean, I think I do that to a degree. I mean, he really drills down every day.
Important.
It's extremely important, and his example of doing that showed me, even as an older person, that I can always learn that there is value to self-education, even even in this current environment.
Oh, I mean, education. I mean, again, the older I get, the more money I'm willing to spend on self-education. Like I couldn't, like what I've spent on a couple of masterminds that I've joined recently. If you would have told me this even 5 years ago,
yeah, I bet
I would have been like, no effing way. Are you crazy? But now it's like 1,000% sign me up, because the value I'm getting is 10x what I'm paying for this.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do is implement what they're telling me. That's it. But I learned the value of education, self-education, and good education comes with the price.
Yes.
There's a lot, people say there's a lot of free stuff out there. There is, right? But if you really want, you're gonna have to pay for it. There's still a level you're gonna have to pay,
without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's like and again, what would a show be without me quoting Jim Rohn?
Right.
But Rohn used to say that there's a lot of incredible free works of literature to get you started on any journey. But at some point, to get the secret keys to open the doors, the real doors, you got to pay to play. And that's not a bad thing. It's you've earned the right to that point. So you have the opportunity
100%
to buy in. Right?
Yes. And you're buying years of someone's experience.
Absolutely.
Like if I look when I started the firm, if I would have had the money to invest in myself like I am now, I'd probably be light years ahead of where I am now, because there was a playbook. I just couldn't afford the playbook, or I wasn't willing to pay for. Like I didn't see the importance of it. Now, as I've been doing it so many years, it's like, holy shit, that is so important to pay. Get in the right rooms, be around the right people, the people that think differently, think strategically, and just provide that advice. That's why we started doing those boardroom breakfasts at our office. And we don't charge for it. It's just to get people in the right room, to allow them to think differently and to, collaborate together and really push each other to be better. Like that's important. And it's just being in the right room with the right people.
Yeah,
really
and getting exposed to different ideas.
Yes, 100%.
And that it's funny. Do you think when you think about human nature, do you think people are either wired in that curious fashion where they'll seek out different experiences and different points of view in different ideas, or they're just not wired to do that? Or can you learn to be that way?
Well, that's a good question. So I think the majority, you're wired or you're not wired. Like you're either wired to be curious or you're not. You can teach somebody to be curious or tell them or show them, but they genuinely have to be curious, right? They have to be. And I mean, I had this discussion earlier today. We were talking about just sales. I said, business development isn't hard. It's just be curious about people. The business, if you're curious, genuinely interested in a person and just are curious about them, business will eventually come. But most people are just trying to sell you something, and they're faking the curiousness because it's under the guise of trying to sell you something. To me, it's like, just be curious.
It's very visible though. Usually anybody with just a slight remote amount of business etiquette can see that.
It is, but it's so important just to be curious, because it's not hard. Just be curious. Just ask questions. Just genuinely want to know about people. That is the sales skill 101. Just be curious, in my opinion.
Not just even sales. To me, that's just building relationships in general, especially in the business framework.
I think the people that aren't curious, they have it's almost like I don't want to say maybe self-centered is the wrong word, but it's an egocentric viewpoint. Like
1,000,000%.
They're thinking of themselves first.
I think it's absolutely the truth.
Yeah, they're always thinking of themselves first. Like, how will you benefit me? How does this benefit me? It's going to be very hard to develop business or sell shit if you're always thinking about, like, how is this impacting me? How is this going to, serve me?
I mean, anytime you've ever encountered a salesperson for anything, and you had that uncomfortable feeling as a consumer, you were being sold. You knew it. You knew that salesperson was putting their wants before, what's good for you.
Yeah.
That's the bare essence of it.
Yeah, exactly right. Like if you come to me and tell me what I want or what you think I want, I'm like, no, it's not it. How about just have a discussion? Let's get into a dialogue.
Oh, I'll do it in spite. Even if you nailed it, I would. I will say, nah, you're wrong.
No.
Even if it probably would help me, I can get so turned off in delivery that I won't listen to the damn presentation, which might actually be good for me.
Delivery is everything.
Context. Fuck right. Yeah,
I've said that. I've had people that will, reach out to me and said, oh, so and so told me to reach out to you. They basically went on my LinkedIn, because I'll go through, because I have LinkedIn sales now.
When you hear that though, when you just hear that right out of the get-go, oh, someone told me to reach out to you,
I immediately go to my LinkedIn and I see how long ago they look at my profile, because I could see that. Then I look at, okay, I'm connected with this person, and did this person like comment or like any of my recent posts? That's usually the math I do to say that's how you got here. There's been times where I'm like, I haven't spoken to that person in 10 fucking years. Why would they tell you to call me?
Right.
Oh, they liked my recent post.
Yeah,
cool.
It's all bullshit.
I haven't talked to them, and that's where I get frustrated, because it's like they probably had something great. They could have sold me something awesome.
The sad thing is that maneuver must have a great deal of success, unfortunately. People do it so often.
I guess.
Do you know what I mean?
It's never had success on me. I can tell you that it's never.
It shouldn't have success on anyone that's paying attention.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that aren't paying attention. That's the problem, right? What you just said. You got to be paying attention.
Do you think we're too easily sold today? Or is it always the same? You don't think our current culture maybe changed that, or positive or minus?
I don't think we're sold more than we were in the past. I think it's just more visible now. Like I say, with everything.
Yeah.
Like, social media has just made the world more visible.
Yeah.
It's still the same world we lived in. Maybe there's some difference in technologies and things, but a lot of these basic principles have been around forever. It's just they're more visible now.
So the company that had the exercise bike desk, whatever that formula was they used to trap you submitted.
Yes. I mean, their formula probably was the algorithm. Okay, I look at business stuff, investing, and fitness, or kind of what on TikTok, what my feed is. So it's like, okay, let's serve him an ad that fits these things. He's into fitness. It's an exercise bike. He's also an entrepreneur because he looks at a lot of entrepreneurial shit.
Right.
This has a desk on it.
Yeah.
He can work while working out. I'm like, well, yep, sold me. Bye. And I was on a bike at the gym watching TikTok. I bought an exercise bike with a desk while I'm riding a stationary bike at the gym. Yes, it works. And that's the thing. If you know your market, it's not hard to sell to them.
Right.
They knew exactly what I wanted, and it wasn't the first time I saw it, so I had to see it a few times, right? I didn't buy it like, oh, buying it right now. Like, I had saw it a couple times. I had watched the people use it, then it came through, and it got me in the right frame of mind. And I'm like,
timing's everything.
Boom. Bye. I'm like, yeah. It truly is. Timing is everything. It was probably one of those days where I'm like, shit, I got so much stuff to do. I'm sitting at the gym on this bike. I wish I could have brought my work with me to do while I'm exercising. Well, we have a solution for you, sir. Here's your exercise bike with a desk on it. Everything you wish for. I'm like, well, let's click that buy now button and slide me over to PayPal, pick the card, boom, done. 4 days later, it's sitting in my driveway. And that's the exercise bike story. But from a sales perspective, like, they got me. They got me. And if you know, and any business can do that. If you know your audience, you got to know your avatar. Like, you've got to know how they think and what they want. Like, you don't sell them this, you don't sell them a thing, you sell them the result.
Right.
What they sold me is efficiency.
Of course.
They didn't sell me an exercise bike. They sold me efficiency.
What it'll do for you.
I can do two things that I have to do and love to do at the same time.
I totally get it.
You sold me efficiency. You didn't sell me a bike, it was efficiency. It worked.
Yeah, and isn't that interesting? Like, I think we talked about it before. It's pretty obvious that you take a luxury brand, take Rolex, for example, Rolex watches. They're really selling you an image. They're selling you a legacy, a brand. They're selling you a club.
Yeah.
An art of belonging to an elite group of humans.
Yep.
For whatever the reasons are.
Yeah.
But they're not selling you the ability to keep time.
No, not at all. No, I mean, I buy watches, and it's not for the ability to tell time. It's the investment and for the legacy. The legacy. Correct.
And that because they know their market.
Exactly. It's exactly right. 100%.
It's a great example.
It is, and that's what they say. They sell the feeling of a legacy, the feeling of belonging, the feeling of making a smart financial decision, because to me they're investments, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you know, the technical proficiency, the exquisiteness of the detail, all of that is a feel good moment for most people that own them.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, 100%. They know their market very well, and they make their shit hard to get. And that's the thing. So they make it like the FOMO and like exclusivity. Like, you know, I was on a year waiting list for this one.
Yep.
A basic Submariner, no date.
I know what they're doing. I know.
You know, there's a 1 year wait list. And the only reason I got on the wait list is because I bought another watch in this place before. Had I not purchased a watch from them in the past.
Datejust.
Yeah, the Datejust is the one I bought. You know, they had it in stock, so I bought it.
I didn't even I thought that was your other.
This is the Submariner.
Oh, that's the no date.
The no date, yeah, the no date, yeah.
I'm not paying
but I was
attention.
on a year wait
We have
list.
to have a
for it.
conversation after this show. I
Yeah.
want to see that.
No, but it was a year. I mean, I've had this for over a year.
I didn't know that. I know
Yeah.
you were pursuing one a while back.
Yeah,
but I didn't
literally
realize
got this last August.
I didn't even know that. Yeah,
but I was on a year wait list prior to that. Yeah,
yeah. I've seen some things where those that are buying like the Yacht Masters and all that that are retailing for 70, they're paying like 150 because they can't get them.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, just the Pepsi I have, which was a used one from like 2000, I want to say 10 or 12. I mean, it's tripled in value since I bought it. It's a, so I'm never going to sell it, but if I wanted to, I could make 3 times the money on it, which is crazy. That's the thing; they're investment grade watches.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like I have a phone to tell time. Like I mean, I do look at this to tell time. Like I do, but I'm usually looking at my phone to tell time.
Yeah,
this is just a timepiece. It's different.
It is different. But speaking about how markets, Rolex knows their markets.
100%. Most luxury brands do. When you think about it, like most luxury brands spend so much money figuring out.
It's a real delicate balance for them too, man. Because they could slip. Again, it's not a luxury brand, but you saw take any big American brand like Cracker Barrel goes off the deep end, Bud Light goes off the deep end. I mean, anything that even appears turbulent can send any company sliding.
Especially now with social media and the access to putting information out there, like they have to walk a fine line every day with everything they do. When you think about it, like every brand out there has to. Luxury brands have it a little bit different because they're only catering to a very small percentage of the general population.
Exactly.
And most of those people don't give a shit about the stuff the other companies do worry about. Like if political affiliation doesn't matter. You're still gonna buy a Rolex.
Exactly right.
Doesn't matter. We don't need to pick a side because we know that our people that buy our watches are on all sides, and they're going to buy our watches because they're our watches.
Yeah, and it was puzzling. Jaguar made a wholesale change about a year ago, and they just got killed on the line for it. Now, some people said it because it was a political philosophy. But to me, that may be true for some people, but the reality was, my thought would be your traditional Jaguar purchaser. The family that maybe has had generations of people buying very brand specific and loyal. Yeah. They're looking at that with no connection to the lineage. It's a complete wholesale 1,000,000% change. Even the font's different.
Yeah.
They lost that because it was a radical departure and they move away from their market.
Yeah, you got to understand your core messaging and your core market as especially as a luxury brand. That's not going to change much. When you think about it, like that Rolex core message and core marketing or core market is not going to change.
Well, they'd be insane if tomorrow they change the crown to something completely different. I'm going to probably suggest it wouldn't be received well.
No, it wouldn't. 100% not. No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Marketing is an interesting thing.
Excellent, buddy.
This was a good one.
Yeah, man.
As always, man.
As always, thank you so much.
Yep.
And we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Salute.